All right, guys, so day one of 2024 Green Bay Packers minicamp has just concluded. So, of course, we have some notes and key takeaways to go over from today's practice. I also just released a highlight video from today's practice. I do so every practice that's open to the media. If you want to go watch that, you can simply click the link right above. Also, go down and click subscribe if you want to stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers throughout this entire offseason. Every day the Packers practice, there will be content and videos out on this channel so you guys can stay in the loop. So it also suggests turning on post notifications. All right, so let's dive right into it and go over the main notes and key takeaways I have written down here from today's practice. Now, this is the first minicamp practice. They also have one tomorrow. It is a 3-day event, but usually the third day is a team building event and they don't end up practicing. So likely just practice today and tomorrow. Then, of course, we have a decent break before training camp starts late July. Now, minicamp is mandatory, so unlike OTAs, players are required to show up, and the only absences from today's practice were excused. That was Jair Alexander, Xavier McKinney, and Keyshawn Nixon. Matt LaFleur confirmed after practice that these were excused absences. He's liked what he's seen from them so far through OTAs. They already hit that practice time threshold in order to receive their offseason workout bonuses, so he gave them minicamp off. In terms of some of the players still out of practice but present, in rehab, Alex Magoo, Katana Ladapo, Zach Tom still remain in the rehab group. Still no Tucker Kraft practicing, but there was an advancement that Tucker Kraft is now out of the arm sling. Now, they expect him to come back for training camp. There was no expectation of him to come back for minicamp, so not a surprise here at all. I do expect him to be back for training camp. Matt LaFleur also mentioned that both Zach Tom and Tucker Kraft are in great spots, and he has no worry for both of these guys going forward. We've yet to see either of them practice in full in any offseason workouts so far. Now, moving on to the starters for both the offense and defense for the team sessions. Starting on the offense, obviously, we're going to start with the offensive line, and this has taken a lot of different lineups so far through OTAs and now minicamp. Today was definitely a different one in terms of the starting offensive line. Andre Dillard started at left tackle, Elton Jenkins at left guard, Josh Myers at center, Sean Ryan at right guard, and Jordan Morgan at right tackle. Again, this is with Zach Tom out, but usually we'd see Rasheed Walker at least get the first snaps with the ones at left tackle, but it seems like they tried Andre Dillard today. Now, Rasheed Walker came in slightly after, got his reps at left tackle. When that happened, Andre Dillard flipped to the right side at right tackle, and Jordan Morgan moved inside to right guard. Interestingly, Elton Jenkins also got some center reps today during the red zone period, so the Packers are truly just trying players at every position just to really form out this offensive line. And of course, more of this will take shape for training camp when the pads come on and we actually have some real reps, some real hitting. That's where we're going to see this offensive line take shape, but it's still interesting to see throughout OTAs and minicamp so far all the different combinations we've seen for the starting offensive line. As for the starting defense, they came out in base, so the base 4-3 was as follows. The defensive line was Preston Smith, Devontae Wyatt, TJ Slayton, and Rashawn Gary. Now, I've noticed Kenny Clark isn't in these starting lineups to start teams. It's likely because they want to get these other guys, like, I guess, the reps. We know Kenny Clark is a starter on the defensive line, and I'm very excited for him in this new scheme. I think he's going to be a lot better in a 4-3 scheme, in my opinion. But I feel like the last 3 practices, I haven't seen him start at defensive line for these walkthroughs, which isn't a big deal. Like I said, probably just getting the other guys the looks over him because they know what they have with Kenny Clark. As for the linebackers, it was still Eric Wilson, Quay Walker, and Isaiah McDuffie. I feel like when the pads come on, when training camp really gets underway, we're going to see that more of Edgerrin Cooper getting those starting snaps, but Eric Wilson did have a nice day of practice today and has been stepping up in that starting role so far for these linebackers. Cornerbacks were Eric Stokes and Carrington Valentine. Of course, with Jair out, Valentine steps back into the starting role. And as for the safeties, with Xavier McKinney out, it was Anthony Johnson Jr., who's been getting starts opposite Xavier McKinney, and then Javon Bullard. So Bullard looking like the next man up in that rotation. Bullard also got even more slot reps today in the absence of Keyshawn Nixon. I just released a video on Javon Bullard yesterday going over his tape from college football 2022, 2023, where he played nickel corner in 2022 and safety in 2023. So he offers so much versatility. So obviously the Packers are going to move him around a bunch and see what he can do. And he had a good day of practice. All right, so now to go over the offensive notes from today's practice, the 11v11s. Marshawn Lloyd definitely opened some eyes today. Had a lot of nice runs, quick cuts. Looks very, very quick. And also with his build, he's kind of hard to locate when he's running behind a tall offensive line. Now, the offense had some nice flow early on in today's practice. The Love to Jaden Reed connection was running strong today, including a 3rd and goal touchdown in red zone period, and also a deep touchdown over Corey Ballantyne in coverage. Love also had some completions to Romeo Doubs and Bo Melton during the red zone period, and it was noted that Love is definitely getting better at manipulating defenders with his eyes, which is a great thing, obviously. Other quarterback news, Michael Pratt continues to impress, their 7th round pick out of Tulane in this draft. And on the flip side, Sean Clifford has been struggling, and today was probably his worst day of practice, where he threw 3 interceptions. So although it's just OTAs and it's just minicamp, this quarterback battle, or quarterback 2 battle, already running strong. But as of right now, Michael Pratt really looking like a 7th round steal so far. He had a really nice touchdown pass to Samori Toure today. And he looks like he's in command. He just looks like a veteran quarterback out there, which is great to see from a rookie. Furthermore, a 7th round rookie. Moving on to the defensive notes, you might be wondering, who had the interceptions on Sean Clifford? And you'd think I'd list off 3 players. No. One player had 3 interceptions on Sean Clifford, and if you didn't know already who it was, I guarantee you would never guess it, because it was Zane Anderson, who had 3 interceptions today, all on Sean Clifford. So I guess this guy actually does exist. Sean Clifford was seeing ghosts out there today, I suppose. Eric Wilson, also a solid day at linebacker, as I mentioned in the starting lineups. He had a couple nice plays. The linebackers overall and edge players overall had a nice day today. Edgerrin Cooper, a nice practice. He had some great pressures on the quarterback today. The Packers were moving him around, bringing pressure from the edge, getting creative with Edgerrin Cooper, and that's exactly what I talked about, not only when I made his prospect spotlight before the Packers drafted him, but talked about him after the Packers drafted him. Moving this guy around, doing a lot with him. They can blitz both Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper in so many different ways, get after the passer. Not only that, play traditional linebacker, sideline to sideline, cover running back, cover tight end. There's so much speed, athleticism, and versatility there. 3rd round pick, Tyron Hopper, also had a would-be sack today. So again, good day for the linebacker. And as I mentioned, edge defenders with a ton of pressure today. Preston Smith had a would-be sack. Brenton Cox had a nice pressure, beating Andre Dillard easily. And then Kenneth Odumegwu had 2 would-be sacks today. And Matt LaFleur, after the practice, said his growth has been exponential. LaFleur also confirmed that they did indeed ask Carrington Valentine to put on some weight. I think it was the first OTA highlights we saw a clip of Valentine, and he looked bigger. So that is a confirmation that they asked him to put on weight, which he did. And Matt LaFleur really likes what he sees so far in Carrington Valentine in year 2. Then to wrap things up, quickly going over the 2-minute drill notes. Only the starters and the second team did 2-minute drills today. It was kind of a light practice for minicamp, in my opinion. It seems like there's more individual work going on rather than team sessions. The 11v11s, the red zones, the 2-minute drills. Obviously, that'll all ramp up for training camp. But as for the starters in the 2-minute drill today, although they had flow going on early in today's practice, the 2-minute drill was definitely rough for the first team offense. They went 4 and out and only moved the ball 5 yards. Javon Bullard had great coverage on Christian Watson on a 3rd and 5, and then the play right after that, trying to convert a first down, Christian Watson dropped a pass. Therefore, the first team offense turned over the football. The defense has generally been winning the 2-minute drives so far this offseason. I believe the first team offense, I don't know if they've scored a touchdown during 2 minutes. I know they've had some field goals here and there, but overall, the defense has definitely won the practice a lot thus far this offseason, which is a good thing. The defense is a question mark for the Packers, right? We saw last year what the offense is capable of, and they didn't really lose too many pieces, right? Aaron Jones, they lost, sure, but they brought in Josh Jacobs. David Bakhtiari wasn't even playing outside of week 1. So we know what the offense is capable of, but we have a big question mark on the defense. So it's nice early on, again, no pads on, but it's nice early on to see the defense flying around, covering well, and stopping this offense. As for the second team offense, you're probably going to guess how this ends based off of the defensive notes, how that started. The second team did move the ball some. They actually got 3 first downs, but at the end of the day, it ended as the same as the first team offense with a turnover. It ended up with an interception by Zane Anderson, who again had 3 on the day, all on Sean Clifford, which is still just insane to read. Good for Zane Anderson, man. So that does it for all the key takeaways and notes of Green Bay Packers minicamp day 1. Again, they have a practice tomorrow, so be on the lookout for the videos for tomorrow's practice, the highlights, and as well as the takeaways. But I appreciate you guys coming by to the video. I'll catch you on the next one, and as always,